Hey, Halo fans, I'm back for one more. I read some of my comments, and there was a couple of comments that I want to touch on real quick. First of all, where it was stated that Urania was basically victimized by a couple of really, really bad defensive plays. Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. He was victimized by a couple of bad plays. This really doesn't show the kind of prowess he has is really more just bad defense. So, with that said, I'm also going to say I still don't see him as a starter. That's pretty much my main focus right now. Is he's not a starter. Uh, this guy could be long relief, quite possibly in the big leagues. But my issue with what some writers are thinking about him, oh, he can take over in the rotation at some point this season. No, that's horseshit. Absolutely not. He's not a starter by any stretch of the imagination. He never will be a starter by any stretch of the imagination. The best he's going to be is a long reliever. It's pretty much what I'm touching on. So the other thing mentioned was want to know about Trout moving back to center field. Um, this is an interesting one for me because Trout's really the only legitimate center fielder that the Angels have, offensive and defensively. Teodosio is a phenomenal defender, but the guy's not hitting. He can't seem to get his bat going, and that is a problem. So until he can actually do that, he cannot man center field full time. He can give Trout a day off. He can possibly be a defensive replacement if Trout needs to move over to a corner or something. And well, I mean that's about it right now. Until then, there's maybe a couple of guys that I've seen in the minor leagues the Angels are high on, but they're far from the big leagues, and that's if they can make it. So, with that said, as long as he is healthy, as long as he feels good, as long as he doesn't get injured on a constant basis, then center field is where your child belongs. I'm not saying that, he's going to be massively injury prone from here on out. I mean, maybe everything was a fluke. I mean, that's injuries are flukes, people. They happen. Now, if they happen on a constant basis to a guy who's given a massive contract, then you start thinking, okay, maybe he's injury prone, or maybe he's exaggerating. We all know Anthony Rendon was exaggerating because, come on. I mean, I understand his hip issues. I get that, but the fracture in his shin after he fell the ball off of it. Come on. It was ruled a contusion. And then it comes back when he's supposed to be starting a rehab assignment. Oh, no, 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 it's a fracture. It always was a fracture. He's full of it, which is where he lost me entirely. He completely lost my respect, and I wanted him gone from then on out. Now he is. So he bye bye. Trout Trout's entirely different. I don't think that's Trout. Trout loves the game of baseball. He loves playing, and I believe that everything that happened was a bit of a fluke. So, if it's a fluke, it's a fluke. Like I said, manning center field is where Trout actually belongs. Now, if it's going to cause his body to wear down majorly, then yeah, I think he needs to move over to a corner when the Angels can pick up a legitimate center fielder who can defend and hit. So until then, that's where Trout belongs. Now, other things that I would want to get into, obviously, I need to pay a little bit closer attention because I admitted in the last video that watching has been a bit difficult for me thus far for the season. So I'm having a bit of an issue giving my best analysis. So I'm going to apologize in advance for that one. profusely, actually, because you guys deserve better than that. So, with that said, I'm going to be paying, again, very, very close attention to what's going on, and I will give you guys my best analysis that I could possibly give you. So, until then, I'm going to say, go Halos.